Parallel lines are lines that have the same slope. So if we look at these two equations, and all I'm going to do is rewrite them so that they fall into the form y equals mx plus b. And again, the number in front of x is the slope. So if I rewrite this first line, y equals negative 0.5x plus 2, the slope of this line is negative 0.5 or negative a half. The y-intercept happens to be the 2. You can see where it crosses the y-axis. For this one, if I rewrite it, y equals, keep the sign with the number, negative 0.5x, and then minus 1. So again, the slope is just the number in front of x, negative 0.5. This one happens to have a y-intercept here at negative 1. But they have the same slopes. So when the slopes are the same, we have two lines that are parallel to each other. For perpendicular, we can see that the two lines are going to have opposite signs in order for them to form this right angle. One has to be going downhill, one has to be going uphill. So again, if we take a look at this line, and I don't even need to rewrite it, it's just the number in front of x is your slope. So the slope of the line going downhill is negative 2, and the slope of the line going uphill, the number in front of that x value, is a positive 1/2. Now, we need to take the opposite reciprocal of the original slope in order for the two lines to be perpendicular. So if our slope is negative 2, it's going to be a positive, and then take the reciprocal or the flip of 2, which is 1/2. So kind of as a sidebar here, if my slope would have been positive 1/5, and I want a line that has a slope that's perpendicular to that, it's going to have to be the opposite sign, and then the reciprocal of 1/5, which is 5/1, or 5. So our slope for a line perpendicular to our first line is negative 5. So down here, they're basically saying the same thing. Two lines are parallel if and only if their slopes are equal. And two lines are perpendicular if and only if they are opposite reciprocals of one another. And kind of as a little fun fact, if you multiply those two together, the answer will turn out to be negative 1. In other words, if I take 1/5 times negative 5, that's negative 5/5, which is negative 1. So the product of two slopes that are perpendicular to each other will turn out to be the number negative 1. So as an additional question to think about, write the equation of a line perpendicular to the y-axis through the point 2, 1. So I plotted the point 2, 1, and I want it to be perpendicular to the y-axis. So I want it to cross right here and form a 90-degree angle with the y-axis. So the equation of this line, it is a horizontal line. It only crosses the y-axis at, and then our point is 1. So the equation is simply y equals 1. And we don't have to do much more to it.